I'm honored whenever once in a while somebody finds out I'm a vet and they want to know if I'm a veteran of the Vietnam War. I said no, in the World War II and the Korean War. But when my oldest son was in high school, that Vietnam thing was going full scale. And I guess everybody knows that it was a very unpopular war. There were demonstrations against it. There were a lot of kids that refused to serve and ran across the border into Canada to beat the draft. Well, with that draft in effect, Don and I knew that Roy wouldn't be one that would run. So when he had the chance to join that intelligence outfit reserve outfit run by his high school principal, we were quick to sign. So he's one Vietnam veteran that's very important to us. And of course he never was over in the combat zone, and that didn't break our hearts at all. I never heard him complain about it either. The other two Vietnam veterans that mean something special to me, one living, one deceased, are Greg ROUSE and Cliff DALY. I've mentioned Cliff before. He was one of the high school wrestlers. And Greg may have been too, come think about it. But Cliff wrestled the lightest weight, and he was really well proportioned and strong built little guy. He was just short, real short. And when he wanted to join the Marines, the Army, I think he didn't really care which branch. He wanted to join up. They said, sorry, you don't meet our minimum height standard. And he came right back and had the backing of his dad and mom that I'd make a good tunnel rat. And you all have seen enough Vietnam-era movies to know what that meant. Tunnel rat meant that he would be the right size to go down into the tunnels and try to root out the enemy. Like the Japanese, the Vietnamese were experts at digging tunnels and having even rooms dug out underneath the earth. And the Army, of course, then came back with tunnel rats who would go in after them. When I visited the Vietnam Memorial, of course, I looked up Greg ROUSE's name, shed a few tears, and that boy meant a lot to me. He got a salute. I salute him again for his service and for being there for us. But another reason that he was special to me was he got in some trouble at the junior high, along with some other boys. They were doing something they shouldn't be doing and got busted. And Greg was one of the first ones that confronted. I really didn't want to believe he was involved with it, but he was as honest as a day is long. He admitted, yeah, he was part of it and told me what they were doing. That's the kind of man that I'll bet made one heck of a Marine, and it's a darn shame that he happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and lose his life. But I'm proud of Greg ROUSE and proud of the hundreds and thousands like him that have gone to the scratch line, and so many of them have given their lives in the various wars, including the one that went on when I was just a kid. Thanks, Greg, and to your descendants, your nieces, nephews. I'm sure you're honored every year and every time anybody gives a thought to war. And kind of a P.S., I'm very hopeful that this new president will be true to his word, find an honorable way to close up Iraq and an honorable way to get in and settle that Afghanistan by routing out the enemy and get those two wars closed up. Sure wish him the very best in that effort as an old soldier.